Alright, so I am back. We are at just over 24 hours. Let's see, what time? Yeah, we're right at 24 hours after the ice has melted. And it looks ugly. It looks so ugly. Like, it looks a hot mess down in here. But that's okay. It's supposed to look ugly right now. So, set you back up here. I got a cheap little tripod at Walmart. So, not entirely sure if it's sturdy enough for this. You may come crashing down in a minute, but we'll find out. Alright, so, first step out of this is to remove the clips and the forms. So that is where we're going to start. Wear gloves so you don't stain your hands, because it's a pain in the butt to get dye back off of your hands. And also try to not rub the forms up against the project any more than you have to, just because they do get some dye on them and you just don't want it to transfer somewhere that you didn't intend that color to be. I'm telling you guys, these are going to look awesome. I can feel it. Any hemostats that you may have had propping things up. Because they're going to be in your way in a minute. I probably could have gotten away with a second round of ice on here, but I was trying to be as simple as possible. Don't know how well you can see, but there's still areas where the dye hasn't completely dissolved. That's okay. Don't stress about it. It will be okay in most cases. Now, if I had something super, super thick, like if this were a sweatshirt or, you know, just a lot of material and I had a lot of that still going on, I would probably want to go ahead and do a second round of ice, just to make sure everything is saturated, that the color has worked its way all the way through the fabric. Because the thicker the fabric, the harder that is, and more ice, more liquid, it will push that dye down through there. Okay, so I know you're probably going to want to start taking hemostats and bands and kite string off. Wait. Rinse it with that stuff in place first. It'll just make your whole rinse out a little bit easier. Because if you go ahead and undo everything, it's going to feel like it's taking you forever to get it rinsed. So, start out with some warm water. And I'm going to have to scooch this a little bit, because if not, as soon as I turn on the tub, it's going to get all over that. It may end up doing it anyway. Alright, I think that's about as good as we're going to get before we untie some things. And I just realized I did not bring scissors in here with me, so I'm going to grab those and I will be right back. Alright, have scissors. So, it's going to be our first real look at all the work we have done. Now you don't have to cut the kite string. You can spend all of your time just working it back off there. But you can't reuse it because it soaked up all this color that you've poured on here. And it's just going to go in the trash anyway, so just save yourself the headache and just cut it. Rubber bands, on the other hand, don't cut those. You can save those. They will wash off, color will come back off. They are totally fine to use over and over and over until they break. And be careful with your scissors. Just make sure you don't catch the fabric of the shirt, because you would hate to do all this work just to realize, oh dang, I cut the fabric. That would suck so bad. So let's get the rubber bands out of the way because they're holding it up here. I mean, of course, if you've got a rubber band on there so tight that you just can't get it unbound, then yeah, cut it. It's not the end of the world. But there just ain't no sense in doing it if you can get them off there pretty easy. And they will splatter your hands with dye as you're pulling them off. So just be aware. Dye will splatter. And this is usually the step that I start remembering how much kite string, how many times I wrapped around. And I hate myself for it. I just made it harder on myself. But it's okay. These scissors suck. I have better ones, but it's alright. These are handy. And I know this one is looking extremely dark at the moment. It will lighten up as we rinse and after we wash it out and get it dried. At this point, I'm just super stoked to see what we have. Like I said, I've not done an incline dye before. And there's some people, they really incline it. Like they'll take like piece of guttering and set it almost vertical, and those come out really cool looking. But for now, this will be fine. Alright, see what we have. Oh, it's so dark you can't hardly tell. Oh, but I think that it is gonna be gorgeous. I would hold it over there more, but I'm afraid I'm gonna drip on the other project, so I'm not gonna do that. Let's see here. Go ahead and rinse the blue one some more. That's a lot. I'm trying to kind of wring it out some so I can hold it up better. see that, but it's looking pretty awesome. All right, next we're going back to the sunflower. And I know I keep saying it, be careful with the hemostats. You don't want to get this far and have one fly off and knock you in the face, because that would just be terrible. The signet you just have to unwrap, because like I said, you don't have to tie knots in it. It sticks to itself, so just pull it right back off there. Sometimes it may try to stick to itself as you're pulling it back off there. Oh, that's where I have to. Alright, before I get this soaking any further, soaking wet, I gotta see it. I just have to see where we are. The suspense is killing me. Oh wow. That is gonna look so cool. Oh, I'm super excited now. Alright, let's get this sucker rinsed. Oh, my back. Alright. So now I will transfer these to the washing machine. They will go in for a hot wash with 2 rinses. I will use Synthropol. It is an industrial textile detergent. It is really good at helping remove excess dye. That being said, I know a lot of people in the tie-dye community swear by Blue Dawn for their washout, and I've seen their work and it looks fine to me. That being said, I've also heard Blue Dawn is not the best thing to run through your washing machines. So it's kind of just a use your best judgment, do what you will with this information kind of thing. But I use Synthropol, and I also use an industrial fabric softener, Milsoft, both of which can be purchased on Dharma's website. The Milsoft I don't think I'm going to continue to use once I run out of it. It really just doesn't seem to make a whole lot of difference between it and my regular fabric softener, other than it's not scented. It works, it makes the fabric feel nice, but so does the Suavitel I get at Walmart, so. But that's, again, up to you. So yeah, I'm gonna go wash these. Once they're washed out, dry them, and then we will see the final results.